Ted Cruz pulls out of the race. Donald Trump will be the Republican nominee. Now the fight is this: stopping the people who are trying to stop Donald Trump. And I'm talking about the Republicans. You guys want to rumble? You hypocrites? I'll rumble with you. Who's your daddy?
Those who forsake the law praise the wicked. Those who uphold the law resist them. Welcome to the Voice of Resistance. Here's your host, Randall Terry.
The reason that they call a political campaign a campaign is because the word campaign comes from the military. Did you know that? This is war by another means. We have political campaigns so that we don't have to have shooting campaigns, wars. And in a war, whether it's a political war or a shooting war, the field of battle is fluid. Things change quickly. And last night, with Ted Cruz pulling out of the race, things changed way more abruptly than anyone thought that they would. Ted Cruz made the right decision because he could not stop Trump. He knew that Indiana's loss meant that he could not raise the money he needed to wage an effective battle against Trump in Nebraska, West Virginia, California, Oregon, Washington, New Mexico. It was simply not going to happen. So he did the right thing. And it was a very good speech that he made, very magnanimous. Equally magnanimous was the congratulatory statements of Donald Trump to Ted Cruz. Now, I'm going to play the clip, but I want you to hear me. We're going to quickly move on because the field of battle is fluid right now. Now the issue becomes stopping the people, undermining the people, pushing back against the people who want to stop Donald Trump. I'm talking about the Glenn Becks. I'm talking about the people who write the National Review. I'm getting ahead of myself, but I want you to understand what's coming because I intend to rumble with these people and I intend to teach you how to fight them. First, let's watch Donald Trump's kind words about Ted Cruz.
I have to tell you that I've competed all my life, competitive person. All my life, I've been in competitions, different competitions, whether it's sports or business or now for 10 months politics. And I have to tell you that I have met some of the most incredible competitors that I have ever competed against right here on the Republican Party. You know, we started off with that 17 number. And just so you understand, Ted Cruz, I don't know if he likes me or if he doesn't like me, but he is one hell of a competitor. He is a tough, smart guy. And he has got an amazing future. He's got an amazing future. So I want to congratulate Ted. And I know how tough it is. It's tough. It's tough. I've had some moments where it was not looking so good. And it's not a great feeling. And so I understand how Ted feels and Heidi and their whole beautiful family. And I want to just say, though, that one tough competitor.
There you go. He did the right thing. And I know that there's a lot of people who are wondering, will he pick Ted Cruz as his running mate? It's possible. I think Cruz would make a good VP pick. We'll see what happens. All right. Now we have to move on. My willingness to fight, and if any of you hypocrites, if any of you establishment treacherous hypocrites get to watch this, all I have is, I have two words for you to prove my point. Are you ready? Mitt Romney. Mitt Romney. I did not vote for Mitt Romney. I voted for myself. In 2012, I was on the ballot in the state where I resided. I ran, that's another story, we'll go there another day. But I ran to show pictures of dead babies on TV to say that no one can ethically vote for Barack Obama. No one who says they're pro-life. But people made a very compelling argument that I frankly agreed with on some level at least, that Mitt Romney could not be trusted. You have to remember, people, Mitt Romney, when he was governor of Massachusetts, bowed down and groveled like a frightened little schoolgirl to the Massachusetts Supreme Court when they ordered the Massachusetts legislature, and by extension Governor Romney, to create homosexual marriage. They didn't have the guts. Mitt Romney did not have the guts to defend marriage and to say no and to try and bring about impeachment against those judges. And he signed a law that allowed people of Massachusetts a $50 copay under Romney Care to murder their baby. I repeat, Mitt Romney, as governor of Massachusetts, signed into law a bill that allowed a woman in Massachusetts to pony up $50 as a copay, and then the state taxpayers were going to pay to murder her baby. Mitt Romney caved in on marriage and was a treacherous baby killer when he was governor. And so when you tell me never Trump, I just want to ask you, did you vote for Mitt Romney? Don't go away, friends. I'm going to explain what this treachery is really all about, and this duplicity and this hypocrisy. Mitt Romney. If you own a business and would like to advertise on our program, please contact us. We are currently seen on over 130 television stations from coast to coast. We air at 8 p.m. Eastern, and then all times are local. We have a lot of reach, friend, and this is an opportunity at a great price for you to get your product or your service in front of hundreds of thousands, maybe even millions of people. Also, if there's something that's important to you and you'd like to have a month where you just say thank you to this ministry or promote a certain ministry or a certain cause, contact us. Our rates are incredibly affordable. You'd be surprised. And you, again, can reach into hundreds of thousands, perhaps millions of homes. We're currently seen possibly in over 30 million homes. So give us a call, give us an email, and we'll put a commercial up for you. Mitt Romney. No, I don't think Mitt Romney is going to try and be a white knight at the convention. That moment has passed. I believe me, it was in his mind and a lot of people's minds, but Trump has sealed the deal. That's not going to happen. When I say Mitt Romney, I'm holding out those two words, his name, as a bellwether, as a litmus test for honesty and integrity from so-called principled Republicans. If they supported Mitt Romney and they say we won't support Donald Trump, ignore them, fight against them. They are hypocrites of the highest order. Well, we had to vote for Mitt Romney. We had to support him. He was the nominee. So use that logic for Trump. Well, Mitt Romney said he was pro-life. Use that logic for Trump. Mitt Romney never said that he would make it that a woman should be punished under law once child killing is made illegal again, that she has to have some punishment if she tries to kill her baby, if she succeeds in killing her baby. Romney never said that. Trump has said it. Okay? That is the pro-life position. You have laws against certain crimes. Okay? And one of the reasons that you have a law is because you have the punishment. And that makes people not do it. All right? There's a lot of people out there that would commit murder if there was simply no criminal punishment. But I digress. Mitt Romney. Mitt Romney was not a principled Ronald Reagan Republican. He was a squish. He was a flip-flopper. He was. That's what he was. And yet these very people, look at this National Review cover. What you need to do is we need to just, and I haven't done the research for today's show, but I think there was 20-something writers that wrote these eloquent reasons why we could not support Trump. Well, Okay, you missed your window, guys. Trump is now going to be the nominee. What are you going to do? And unless the person steps forward and says, I did not vote for Mitt Romney, I opposed Mitt Romney, I don't want to hear anything they have to say. We need to ignore them because they're a hypocrite. Let me tell you what this is about. This is about demeanor, style, history, meetings, contracts. Donald Trump spent $900,000 in Indiana. There were millions of dollars spent against him. When people do media buys, those millions of dollars of ads against him, inside of the Beltway, there are various firms. And what they do for a living is they call up TV stations and say, I want to make a buy. I'd like a non-preemptible here, a preemptible there, a preemptible with notice here, and I'm going to write you a check for $27,000. Well, they get 15%. Sometimes it's 12, sometimes it's 13, depends on the deal. But they get money. So if they make a $30,000 buy, they get $4,500. All right? And if they're making $1 million buy, they get $150,000. Do the math. If they do a $10 million buy, they're getting $1.5 million in commissions. There are people, insider Republicans, part of the establishment, part of the go-to people for press releases, for media buys, for consulting, for I'll put together for you your signature gathering. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry. And guess who Donald Trump has not called? Most of them. And then there's the think tank people. The people who exist, they get money sent to them to think great thoughts and to publish great papers on positions regarding Iraq or Iran or Libya or whether or not we should have a certain trade deal with China or. And if they're conservative Republicans, they banter back and forth. They go to different parties together. Donald Trump doesn't call them for their opinion. Donald Trump doesn't care about their position papers. And so they are outsiders. They're as much outsiders with Donald Trump as they would be with Hillary Clinton. Do you understand? But if Hillary Clinton gets elected, then she's the bad person and they're the good people. They can be the loyal opposition because they're in different parties. If Donald Trump gets elected, what do? They say, well, we're lifelong Republicans and now we're on the outside because Donald Trump is a populist Republican. He's a nationalist Republican. He's off the plantation when it comes to free trade. Okay? President Reagan, who I love, God rest his soul, he was involved in the first steps of free trade, which ultimately decimated the American manufacturing sector. Decimated it. So Reagan, Bush the first, Clinton signed NAFTA, the North American Free Trade Act, and then we gave permanent free trade, permanent most favored nation status to China. These are the things that have destroyed America's market, her infrastructure. And Donald Trump has come along, and Republicans pushed for that. And Donald Trump has come along and said, we're making smart trade deals. We're not going to let Americans be taken advantage of anymore. And people are loving it. And the think tank people are going, well, no, that's not conservatism. That's not what free trade is all about. I like getting my bread in circuses so cheap. I've got to take a break. All right. Oh, I'm going to make this personal when we come back. I'll make it personal. Don't go away. Friend, this program is supported by friends like you who believe in what we are doing. We run a very tight ship. Thankfully, we are on over 130 stations across the country, having tremendous impact. We get emails every day. We get letters in the mail, not every day, but almost every day. We hear from people who love what we're doing. What people don't understand is that it's sort of expensive to produce a television show like this. It doesn't require earth-shattering funds, but it does require financial help. So I am asking you, if you enjoy this program, throw us a $10 or a $20 bill every once in a while, or even a $50 or a $100 check. You see the address there on the screen. Your gifts are not tax deductible, by the way, because we want to be able to say what we want to say regarding politics without the IRS telling us no. So if you like the program, I ask for your support. Truth exists. Eternal truth exists. There is a hierarchy of good and evil. Some things are more evil than others. The Bible teaches that there are 4 sins that cry out to God for vengeance. The first of them is the shedding of innocent blood, murder, abortion. The second is what happened in Sodom and Gomorrah. Okay? It cried out to God, these homosexual acts. God destroyed the cities. Now, either these stories, these ethical principles are true or they're not true. If you don't believe they're true, fine, then go on about your business. Put money first. Be a hedonist, be a Marxist, whatever. It doesn't even matter. But if you say, I am a Christian, I believe in the laws of God. If you say, I'm a devout Jew and I believe in the Old Testament, I believe in what God gave Moses, then you have to believe in truth with a capital T. Now these whiners, these carpers, most of them, not all of them, but most of them say that they are principled people. All right, well then show me that you understand the first 2 principles. Child killing, the shedding of innocent blood, and the abominable crime, sin of same gender matrimony. Show me that you get it. And if you don't, if you're not on the record, you have nothing to say. Nothing, because either you're a coward or your ethical compass is so screwed up, you have become so polluted, you've become so jaded, so calloused, that you can't think your way out of a good confession, okay? Or into a good confession. Now, let's make this personal. Well, that wasn't the personal part. Find out where some of these people live. All right? I can't remember the guy's name, but he was a big shot for Romney. He's on Fox all the time, flapping his jaw. You've got multimillionaires in Florida and different places saying that they are going to fund ads, fund maybe a third-party candidate. Find out where they live. Find out where their office is. You want to do the job right? You people in Texas, you viewers in Texas, Glenn Beck is in Texas. Go to the Blaze headquarters. Get 10 or 15 people and call him out. Okay? Call him out. Write signs about his hypocrisy. Right? I mean, it was embarrassing. To watch it go toward the end was actually embarrassing. I think on some levels Glenn Beck is a good man. I do. But man, he was off on this one, and he's still off. Okay? It's Mitt Romney, Glenn. Mitt Romney. Did you support Mitt Romney, your fellow Mormon? So go to Glenn Beck's studio and hold up signs. Glenn Beck, support Trump. Stop or boycott Blaze. Boycott his film studio. Boycott Glenn Beck. Glenn Beck has lost his way. Glenn Beck wants Hillary to be president. Just go for the throat, people. Find out where these other people live, these multimillionaires. They're not used to controversy. Trust me. They're not used to controversy. Find out where they live, and the Supreme Court decision, Frisbee v. Schultz, allows people to do pickets and protests in residential neighborhoods. You just go up and down the sidewalk and say, so-and-so is a supporter of Hillary. Just say it, because that's what they're doing. If they will not help Trump, if they're trying to defeat Trump, they're supporting Hillary. Bring controversy to them. Make it really personal. And a lot of them will shut the heck up really fast. I want to invite you to go to our website. Almost every book that I have ever written is available as a PDF online for free. We have a ton of products, training materials, tools that are available for you for free. All we ask for is that you give us your email address. That's it. So that we can stay in touch with you. And yes, from time to time, ask you to support this work. So I'm inviting you, go to the website. Now, for those of you who say, well, I don't want a PDF, I want a real book. You can get one of my books. All you have to do is pay for shipping and handling, and then give whatever gift you want. And if you can't afford anything, we'll send you the book for free. Just pay shipping and handling. Why are we doing all this? Because we want to change the direction of the country, and we need to raise up a fresh generation of warriors to do that. That's why we have this tool. I invite you, go to the website, see for yourself. Keep your eye on the day of judgment. If you ever look at ancient iconography, icons of the Lord Jesus, put one up for him. You see the eye? One of the eyes is looking at you, and another one of the eyes is looking past you. I used to think that these artists couldn't draw. They didn't know how to make the eyes. No, no, no. This is deliberate. This is a spiritual message. This is the iconographer's way, the artist's way of saying that Christ is looking at us now, and he's looking past us to the day of judgment, reminding us that we should look to the day of judgment. All of us are going to give an account to God, okay? And part of what we will give an account for is whether or not we loved our neighbor as ourselves. Love God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength, and love your neighbor as yourselves. One of the reasons we are involved in politics is the love of our neighbor, the love of our family, the duty that we have to see that justice and righteousness are in the earth. And a part of how justice and righteousness are in the earth is through civil government. So who is in civil government really matters. Now, for those of you who are truly principled pro-lifers, I get it. I've got friends in Colorado. I've got friends in other places. They will never vote for Donald Trump because his conversion is too recent. They don't believe him. I get it. I didn't vote for Bob Dole. I didn't trust him, and I hated the Republican establishment, and I said, no, I'm not going to vote for the man. Because he was attacking the pro-life movement. He wanted to push the conservatives out. And I've said to people, look, if he wins, then we are going to be further away from victory. And I just wasn't going to vote for him, and I didn't. So I get that. But now you've got Hillary, who is way worse than her husband. And you have Donald Trump. And Hillary, she's against the Second Amendment. For those of you who don't care about babies, do you care about your right to self-defense? What do you think she's going to do with the Second Amendment? Donald Trump is moving all over the country saying, I am a maniac supporter of the Second Amendment. My guns are shooting, going out to target competitions, and they're hunting, and we're defenders of the Second Amendment. And if the people in San Bernardino had had guns, there wouldn't have been so many of them dead. They'd have shot the terrorists. I mean, what else? What do you want? He says that a woman should be prosecuted if she kills her baby when abortion is illegal. What more do you want? He says he wants to have judges like Anton Scalia. What more do you want? Well, I don't like how he uses bad language and how bombastic he is. All right, fine, that's a matter of style. I get that. I grew up in upstate New York. His style doesn't bother me. His style makes some people crazy because culturally it's just so offensive to them. Would you like a smooth, talking, gracious, perfect accent, well-mannered person who can politely, very politely, take their hand and put it up to your neck and squeeze your neck until they break it? Would that make you feel better if they had the right demeanor while they crushed you, your family, and your freedoms? you.